When I was 14, my family dragged me along for a special outing to the city. At a bustling open-air market, my mom flashed a grin, slipped me $15 and told me to wander around a bit, assuring me they'd stay put. I turned away for maybe 10 seconds. When I looked back, they'd vanished. No call, no message, no effort to find me, just gone. I waited for hours. No one showed up, not that night, not ever. After that, I stopped being anyone's kid. 8 years later, I did something that shook them more than they could have ever imagined. They finally tracked me down through a legal notice. This week alone, I had 46 missed calls. My brother left voicemails pleading, "Just tell us what you did." "Dad's ill," screaming my name, they said. I'll be clear, if this sounds made up, I don't care. It happened, and it's been stuck in my mind for years, so I'm laying it all out here. If you don't buy it, fine, but I'm not fazed. I wish I didn't have this tale to share, honestly. Anyway, I was 14, the youngest in the family, 2 parents, obviously, and a brother, Jacob, 2 years older, the golden child. We weren't exactly broke, but we weren't rolling in money either. My parents were obsessed with pinching pennies on anything frivolous. Dad would lose it over small things like snacks or subscriptions, acting like I'd betrayed him if I asked for a new jacket or a better phone. Jacob, though, he got new kicks, gaming systems, you name it. I know, typical sibling gripe, but it sets the scene. So, summer break kicks off, and Mom suddenly decides we need family bonding. She pitches this city day trip like it's some grand adventure. Right off, it felt off. We never did stuff like this, and Dad wasn't the fun outing type. On the morning of the trip, Mom's already on me about packing my own food. She's checking my pockets for useless junk, her words. Dad's in the car, silent. Jacob's glued to his phone, acting too cool for it all. The vibe's weird, and I even snap at Mom when she tries to mess with my hair. She gives me this stare, like my existence bugs her. We drive an hour, maybe more, to the city. Nobody talks. I'm staring out the window, music blaring in my ears, trying to tune it all out. Dad gripes about traffic. Mom's scrolling her phone, ignoring the scenery. We pull up to this chaotic outdoor market. Loud, crowded, reeking of fried food and body odor. I'm just glad to escape the car. We wander a bit, Mom plastering on a fake smile like she's auditioning for a commercial. Dad's buried in his phone. Jacob's mocking some street performer, not even subtle. After maybe 15 minutes, Mom stops, turns to me, and says I should go have fun. She hands me $15, laughable given how stingy she is, and tells me to check out some quirky stalls, like jewelry or whatever. She's all smiles, but it feels forced, like she's convincing herself she's a cool mom. I'm not clueless. I know when I'm being brushed off, but I shrug it off, thinking they're just ditching me to look at boring stuff. I glance at a stall with old phone cases and trinkets, distracted for maybe 10 seconds. I turn back. They're gone. Not just down the aisle, but completely gone. I don't freak out at first, just annoyed. I walk around scanning the crowd. Nothing. I text Mom. No response. I call. Voicemail. Same with Dad. Jacob, who never answers anyway, doesn't pick up. I circle the market twice, check the spots we passed, even head back to where we parked. The car's gone. I stand there, half expecting them to pop out and call it a prank, which would have been a new low even for them. Nothing. I keep calling, getting weird looks from strangers when I ask if they've seen a couple with a tall kid. Nobody cares. A security guard tells me to stop hanging around. I try explaining, but he just shrugs and points me to a lost kids tent near the food trucks. I sit there, more irritated than scared at first, checking my dying phone. No replies. It gets dark. A market volunteer keeps asking if I'm okay, but I'm a teenage guy. I just mumble that my parents are late. I don't want to make a scene, stupid as that sounds. I keep thinking there's some explanation. Maybe their phones died or they got lost. Sure, it's past midnight, sitting on a cold bench, market emptying out, streetlights humming when it hits me. They're not coming back. Not tonight, not ever. I try their numbers again. Nothing. My phone dies, and I'm just sitting there wishing I'd brought a charger like that's the real issue. I head to the bus station, but $15 doesn't cover a ticket home, and I'm not even sure they'd be there if I went back. I wander, looking for a place to crash. Not tired, just numb. The next morning, people give me odd looks, but no one asks questions. I spend the last of my cash on a vending machine sandwich and water, then keep walking. Hearing kids talk about their parents picking them up almost makes me laugh. It's so normal, and I feel like I've fallen off the map. I start wondering why they did it. Deep down, it's not a total shock. Jacob was always the easy one. I was the difficult one, the one who needed too much. Mom used to say I was overwhelming. Dad would get pissed over a bad grade, but Jacob could fail a test, and it was the teacher's fault. I was the extra weight they didn't want. The worst part? When I realize they're gone for good, I'm not even that surprised. I keep replaying fights at home. Mom yelling that I made things hard when I got sick. Dad slamming the door so hard it cracked because I forgot a chore. Jacob shoving me out of his room calling me a pest while Mom just sighed. I wasn't a monster kid. I just wasn't him. He was the athlete. I played games. He got party invites. I got extra chores. Whatever. That's how it started. Me on a curb realizing my family had erased me. No texts, no calls, no apologies, no "we messed up." Nothing. Not that night, not the next day, not ever. After that, I stopped being their son. I became a problem they thought they'd solved. I know this sounds intense, maybe unbelievable, but I'm just getting started. I didn't just move on or find a new family. I spent years planning what I'd do if I ever saw them again. They wanted life easy. I made sure they'd never forget what they did. I'll get to that in the next part. It gets intense, for real. If you read the first part, yeah, I know it sounds wild, but it's my life. I probably wouldn't believe it either if it didn't happen to me. After that night at the market, sitting there with a dead phone and my backpack as a pillow, I kept thinking they'd show up the next day. They didn't. So I started figuring out how to survive alone. No movie-style rescue, no kind stranger taking me in. I just drifted, trusting no one. I'd lurk in quiet corners, eavesdropping, scrounging for free Wi-Fi. Seeing kids my age with their parents made me want to walk up and tell them how lucky they were, but I never did. Nobody wants to hear that. I survived by blending in, keeping quiet. I'd crash in bus station waiting areas, not sleeping, just closing my eyes, hoping no one would mess with me. One night, some guy tried to push me off a bench at 3 a.m. I pushed back, he shoved harder, and I walked away. Not worth a fight. You learn quick to guard your space or lose it. I didn't cry. I was just angry. Always angry. For food, I'd dig through discount bins at stores or linger near food trucks for leftovers. Sometimes workers tossed me old fries. It wasn't much, but I wasn't starving. I kept conversations short, and most people ignored me unless I was in their way. I tried finding my parents online at the library, but their socials were active, and there was nothing about me. No missing kid posts, nothing. Like I'd never existed. It pissed me off more than it hurt. I tried going back to school, but without ID or proof of who I was, it was pointless. I sat outside once watching Jacob's friends laugh like I was never there. I heard he was still a star at track, parents at every meet. They were fine. I was the glitch they deleted. After a few weeks, home stopped feeling real. It was a place for other people. I waited for someone to notice I was gone, but no one did. I got by with small trades, odd jobs for cash, nothing big. People would ask if I was lost, but I'd shrug it off. Family moved, I'd say. Nobody pushed. I decided if they wanted me gone, fine, I'd make it count. At a shelter, I met Emery. Not a friend at first, just another guy hustling. He caught me in his spot in the laundry room, and we almost fought, but we backed off, realizing it was pointless. Eventually, we talked, dumb stuff like who got the worst shelter food or who could sleep through the noise. He showed me how to get an ID at 18, how to stay under the radar. He wasn't some guru, just another guy who trusted no one. I started counting days, keeping my stuff safe. I'd see my parents' names pop up in local news, fundraisers, business deals, Jacob with trophies. Never a word about me. I made a mental list of every name they'd called me. Burden, trouble, lazy. I thought about that $15, like it was Mom's price to ditch me. I vowed at 18, I'd make them regret it. When my birthday hit, Emery helped me get a basic ID. I got a cheap prepaid phone and started checking their socials, waiting for a crack. Nothing. Jacob was still the star. Mom posted about how proud she was. Dad at every event. Family photos with cousins, all smiles. I was erased. I'd screenshot their posts, a reminder of how easy it was for them. I started planning, not some hacker movie plot, but a list of their business contacts, friends, anyone who liked their posts. I found out some of their friends didn't even know I existed. Mom had scrubbed me from her life, but I kept notes. I wasn't going to fade away. I saw Jacob once at a gas station, laughing with friends. He didn't recognize me. I looked different, shaved head, hoodie. I wanted to confront him but walked away. He probably didn't care I was gone. They always said I made things hard, that Jacob deserved more without me dragging them down. I think that's why they left me. Less hassle, more for their favorite. Every time I saw their perfect online life, I added to my plan. I wasn't waiting for karma. They'd feel me. I'll tell you how it went down next. It's wild. Update 2. This is where it gets real. Revenge isn't some quick dramatic payoff like in the movies. It's slow, deliberate, like chipping away at a wall until it cracks. I spent years watching, waiting, getting angrier every time I saw their fake, perfect family posts online. Mom would write these long captions about love and support. tagging other parents, but if anyone commented anything off, she'd delete it fast. I tested it once from a burner account saying, "Hope both your sons are doing okay." Gone in minutes. One of her friends messaged me asking if I was okay, then blocked me. It was like they were all trained to ignore me. It made my work easier. I kept tabs on Jacob too, waiting for him to show some guilt, maybe mention me. Nope. Just more posts about his perfect life. One night I saw him and Dad arguing outside a restaurant, shoving each other in the parking lot. Dad yelled, Jacob hit a car mirror, and Dad pushed him back. I stayed out of sight, but it was clear their perfect life was fraying. I started poking at those cracks. I made a list of their business contacts, friends, anyone who liked their posts or showed up in photos. Using burner emails, I sent vague messages. Heard some odd stuff about their business. Might want to double check before signing anything. Nothing traceable, just enough to stir whispers. They were pushing for a loan for a new project. Mom posted a coming soon sign tagging the bank. I dropped vague questions in local online groups. Anyone know if that deal's legit? Heard things are shaky. People started asking questions, arguing in comments. Someone mentioned Dad's debts. Another brought up late payments. It snowballed. I messaged Jacob's friends from burners, asking if they ever wondered about his missing brother. Most ignored me, but one asked Jacob directly. His Instagram went private the next day. I laughed so hard. Their business pages started getting less traction. Event posts got no likes. Mom tried starting new threads, but people ignored them. I sent an anonymous letter to their bank, posing as a concerned relative questioning their financial stability. Nothing illegal, just a nudge. I heard through a shelter friend whose aunt worked at the bank that their loan got stalled. I saw Dad yelling at Mom outside their house, waving his phone. She slapped his hand, he slammed the door. A neighbor watched, not even hiding it. They couldn't just delete this problem. I started calling their house from random numbers, letting it ring once and hanging up. Petty, sure, but I wanted them unsettled. I sent Jacob unsigned birthday cards with notes like, "Hope you're good." He posted about a weird fan, and I couldn't stop laughing. They were too proud to admit they needed help or own up to what they did. So I kept pushing. More emails, more questions to their contacts, hinting at unresolved family issues. Some replied confused, others got spooked. Their friends stopped appearing in photos. Their business pages went quiet. Jacob scrubbed his old posts. Mom posted a rant about jealous liars, and I couldn't resist commenting from a burner. Some people just want answers. She deleted it in seconds. I saved up cash from small gigs, enough to make a real move. When I turned 22, I filed to contest a piece of family property. Not a fortune, but enough to force them into court. I used my real name this time. They couldn't ignore it. Emery said they were losing it, calling everyone, scrambling. Dad emailed me once. "Why are you doing this?" I didn't reply. I wanted them to feel exposed, like their perfect image was crumbling. They wanted me gone. Now they'd never forget me. The next part is where it all explodes. I wasn't done. Final update. This is the end of it, I guess. I thought the fallout would feel cinematic, but it was just raw, messy, and way more human than I expected. Seeing their names light up my phone after years, 46 missed calls in a week, some back-to-back, plus Jacob's voicemails begging, panicking, saying Dad's sick, Mom's falling apart, please just call, hit weird. I didn't answer, not once. The legal move broke them. They were used to controlling their story, but a court notice with my name on it? That was a fire they couldn't put out. I started getting messages from distant relatives I barely knew, all, "Your mom's hurting, can we talk?" I ignored them. They didn't care when I was gone, so I wasn't here for their drama now. Mom posted these cryptic prayer requests online. No specifics, just, "My friends know what's going on, pray for us." My aunt commented, "Should have thought about that earlier," and Mom deleted it. Then the whole post. Jacob stopped posting his usual flexes. His account went silent. Emery heard Dad was yelling in their driveway, slamming doors, neighbors gawking. Their perfect facade was cracking and everyone could see it. The first court date was surreal. I almost didn't go, just to screw with them, but I wanted to see their faces. I walk in, my name's called, and the room goes still. Mom stands like she's about to rush me, but her lawyer makes her sit. She sits hard, hands shaking. Dad stares through me, like if he holds still, I'll vanish again. Jacob glares at me, then at them, then at nothing. I don't speak to them, just answer the lawyer and sign papers. During a break, Mom tries whispering something. I walk past. She grabs for my arm. I dodge, and she hits the wall. Jacob mutters under his breath. I don't catch it. Dad just sits, arms crossed, jaw tight. The process dragged on for months. Fees, disclosures, my name on every document. I kept everything through the lawyer, never gave my address, never let them near me. Jacob tried calling from random numbers, once texting that Dad was in the hospital, Mom was a wreck, Why was I doing this? I didn't reply. There was no family meeting, no forgiveness. They made their choice. Now they'd live with it. Things at their house got ugly, I heard. Grandma cut Mom off. My aunt showed up to scream one day, slammed the door so loud it set off a neighbor's dog. Jacob and Dad got into it in their hallway, shoving each other. Mom yelling at them to stop. No one called the cops. No one stepped in. Just a spectacle for the neighbors. I got my share of the property. Not a jackpot, but enough to sting. I made sure it was public, so every time they tried to buy or sell anything, my name was there. A reminder. They couldn't erase me anymore. People ask if I got closure. I don't know what that's supposed to feel like. It's not a movie. No big speech, no tearful reunion. I didn't want reconciliation. I wanted them to feel what I felt. Alone, irrelevant, like their world could collapse in a day. I wanted their neighbors, their friends, to see who they really were. I still get calls from unknown numbers, voicemails I delete unplayed. I don't check their socials anymore. I don't care about their excuses. I see Jacob in the city sometimes. He looks away, keeps walking. I don't plan to talk to him or anyone else. I'm not their burden anymore. I'm their reckoning. Harsh? Maybe. But they didn't want a son, so now they deal with the consequences. I'm not sure what's next. Just living my life, moving forward. They'll always be looking over their shoulders, wondering if I'll show up again. That's better than any words I could throw at them. You don't get to erase someone and walk away untouched.